Today we ain't. No, we did not. We are here. We are here for another state of being midday, afternoon, daily check-in. Hey, we here. We are here. I pulled the all-nighter last night, guys. Was grinding. I was in the studio. I had to go to the gym, a lot of stuff. So we are here. Checking in. How y'all feeling? If you're watching this a week later, if you're watching this a month later, 3 years later, drop in the comments how you feel. Like I said, how you feel can inspire somebody else or somebody else. If you're feeling down, somebody can uplift you. We building a community of stars worldwide, so continue to engage with the content. It's your boy Zoe Black, Mr. Bringing Light and Changing Cultures. That's what that Black stands for if you don't know. And this is a state of being check-in, right? Um, this is where we bring light to life. So, for my people out there, as you know, we always start this with our reset breath. And I could use one right now. Because when I get home, I'm telling you right now, I'm shutting down. But let's go ahead and reset, man. It's the middle of the day. I'm sure you if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later on, you can use it to reset real quick. So pause, take a second. We're gonna do a deep inhale and an exhale. All right. I felt the tension release on that one. I felt the tension release on that one. That was beautiful. All right, y'all, man. As we always do, we have our point of focus for today. And this one is a dope one because this is for everybody out there who has had a big vision for themselves, right? Not the dreamers, because dreams to me is a sense of like a false reality. This is for people who are visionaries, who can see the big picture clearly, right? The topic for today is your ambition, right? So let's set our intentions. My intentions for today is to be ambitious for the remaining tasks I have for the rest of the day, right? And that ambition is going to remind me of why I got started with all of this, pursuing my purpose in life, pursuing my passions as an artist, as a musician. I would like just the other day I was listening to some old hip hop that I grew up on, like some old Jay-Z, some old State Property, some old Kanye, and it was just like it just took me back to a place and like my spirit immediately got filled. It was like, oh snaps, like I remember listening to this when I was in high school, and it brought me so much joy. I was like, oh, this is what made me feel good. Like when I was as a kid, engaging in this stuff, right? And it was like it just sparked so much of my ambition, and I kind of lost sight of that. I was like, man, like you got to be really ambitious to enter into this space because the way music is so cyclical, is like the thing that you were interested in at one point in time literally fades away, and a new thing becomes the norm. So if you're into like being mainstream, you can lose sight of why you got into this. Now, fortunately, I'm the type of person where it's like I don't really care how people feel about what's popular or what's not popular. I'm going to do me regardless. But the beautiful thing about that moment, it just kind of sparked this ambition in me. I was like, man, this is still dope. I'm 10 years removed from half this music and it's still dope. 15, 20 years removed from some of this stuff and it's still dope. So I want to encourage you out there to constantly be ambitious about what you like and what you love because it keeps you youthful in your creativity. And creativity is like it's not a youthful thing, but you know how people get older and they kind of get set in their ways. The reality is you got to really be ambitious about what you want to do in life because time is always going to be passing you, and you got to kind of be headstrong to realize that the reason why you got into this was because that kid inside of you really enjoyed that particular process. Imagine an artist who likes to paint or likes to draw. He was a kid doodling on his notebook, and then he goes back and he sees all his old art. He's like, "Whoa, this is really dope. Like, this is why I got into this. This is really fire." So you got to be really, really ambitious about the things that you want. And ambition also fuels like your day-to-day task for your goals. So when you go about your day-to-days and things get taxing, and you think back to those moments of like, yo, the reason why I got into this was because this brings a different level of joy and peace to me, and that's what sparks your ambition. It fuels you, and it inspires other people around you. Because when people see you ambitious about your art or what you do, they themselves become ambitious about it as well. Some may hate, That's the reality of it, because some people don't have goals or have a vision or a purpose for themselves. But the people who really are like who love other people and really care about people being successful, they will really get behind you. Look at Russell. Majority of the reason why we love or we support him is because of his ambition. He shows up every day and he brings forth the best version of himself. So I want to encourage you out there. If you're a star, if you're somebody who's about this bringing light and changing cultures, universe, continue to be ambitious about what you love in this world or what you want to bring forth in your purpose. Right? When you're influenced to do something, you got to understand like influence is such a radiating energy that I love to be around other people who are like super inspired by what they do or super ambitious about what they do. Think about all the great think about LeBron. Think about how ambitious he is at 42 years old to still be playing basketball at a high level. Imagine being around that. He still it's like a kid's game and he still is like giving it all this youthful energy. And you see it. He prepares properly. He shows up every day. Probably is like training, still at the top of his game, give or take. But that goes for like for anybody, right? If you're an author, when you're writing from a standpoint of like creativity that takes you back to when you were, however old you were when you first got into that thing. So my gratitude starts here. I'm grateful for the ability to have a clear vision for myself, right? Because of that clear vision, and when I see it and seeing the opportunities and seeing like the impact that I can have on this world, that's what makes me so ambitious to want to even show up to these daily state of being check-ins and check in on y'all and just making sure that y'all good. Because I know if y'all good, I'm good, and if I'm good, y'all good, and we're gonna continue to show up for each other. We're gonna continue to build this. We're gonna continue to do this every day. Much love to all the people out there who felt like, I needed a little bit more push. This is your push right now. Give everything you got right now for the things that matter to you the most. Just do it 1% better than you did yesterday. It's your boy Zoe Black. As always, I want to encourage you guys to continue to shine on. Use your ambition while you still got it, because somebody's gonna try to rob you of it. It's much love. Checking in, checking out. I hope you're doing wonderful. Continue to close out the rest of your day, giving your best effort. And like we always say, man, and here in this black universe, we're gonna always shine on. It's your boy Zoe